Good morning, everybody. This is Robert People of RobertPeople.com, and you're listening to People's Court, episode 76. Today is Monday, April 6, 2020. There is a text photo going around, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't have it in front of me, or I'm going to try to get it as close to the quote as possible. But it goes something like this. If you do not come out of this quarantine with a new skill, having started that business you've been wanting to start, or there's a third one to it, in some way, the purpose of it is, in some fashion, better than you were before. It ends with, you did not lack time, you lacked discipline. And there's another one going around which has that, but modifies that last sentence. Rather than saying you never lacked time, you lacked discipline, it's crossed out, and the reply is something like, you'll be fine. You're fine. You're okay. Not everyone has the privilege, and again, paraphrasing this, not everyone has the privilege of coming out of something, in better shape than they were before. This is traumatic. This is stressful. You'll be fine. You're okay. Stay healthy. That's how it goes. Now, there always has to be, with something like this, and I mentioned this before in a previous podcast, it was either the last one or the one before that, that we should all strive to come out of this better than we went in. However, it should be clear. It should be pretty clear and pretty evident as to who that type of post refers to. Let's not be, respectfully, everyone, let's not be obtuse about this. Let's not lack common sense. If you have a great deal of stress in regard to dealing with this obviously, that initial post would obviously not apply to you. And everybody is experiencing some level of stress with this. Everyone is. We all are. This is traumatic. This is a pandemic. A lot of us can't leave our homes. A lot of us are doing our best to abide by, to adhere to the advice given by those, in charge right now. So that brings a great deal of stress out. There are people who are still very much working from home on a full-time basis. Whether you're taking care of your children, taking care of young kids, whether you are ensuring that your young kids are doing their schoolwork, whether you are a teacher. Okay, you're a teacher, you're pretty much having to be, in front of the computer for your for your children, for your students who have issues, to be able to answer their questions. If you are otherwise working, and whatever type of profession that you're in, you may still have to work from home, obviously. I'm missing one. There's another one I'm missing. Oh, if you're taking care of sick relatives, or those with injuries and so forth. There's all kinds of full-time jobs that you could be still doing from the house. That post does not apply to you. And something like that should not have to be said. Whenever it is encouraged to work hard or do your best or no excuses, the first ones who come out are the ones who have everything legitimately that stops them, or that gets in their way, or that's distracting, or good, very valid reasons that they're not able to pursue this or to work toward that or to do this. That's not who it's referring to. It doesn't need to be explained that everybody's in a different boat and we're all in different situations and so forth, because anybody who gets it, and we all should understand this part, is that posts like that refer to the ones who are able. The ones who are able. And a lot of people out there are able, are fully capable, don't have kids weighing them down, don't have sick relatives, are not working full time from the house. Not only that, or they've learned how to manage the stress from this. I'm not going to say you don't have it. I'm just going to say you've learned how to manage. You've learned how to cope. But you're otherwise able. There's nothing really stopping you. And on top of all that, along with that, you're the same ones who said, I'm going to start that business. I'm going to grind. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to do this. You've been saying, in some cases, your whole life, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And the time has opened up. Yes, we got a lot going on. Yes, there's a pandemic. Yes, we can't. And, this is not a great time for us. It's a very scary time for a lot of people. But time opened up. Time opened up for you. I'm not here to judge those of you who watch Netflix, Hulu, hang around on YouTube, mess with this and that. I'm not judging anybody for doing that stuff. But if you have something, if you are, in a place where you are able to do it, that's what the post refers to. Because a lot of people, we're quick. We love to say we don't have time. We love to just throw that out there. I don't have time. But a lot of us lack discipline. Me included at times. We lack discipline. We want something. We want to achieve this. We want to make this happen. We want success in this area or that area. And we straight up lack discipline. We lack the discipline. Remember, you're the one who wants this. That post is not saying everybody out there, you better just learn how to live with it and deal with it and go do something or else you're worthless. That's not what that post means. That post is not even referring to people who are struggling or have other things going on. It's about those who have said, I want to do this. Those who lack discipline, a lot of us do. A lot of us do. And sometimes folks don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that you lack discipline. So those of you who are able, some of you are hiding behind the people who are working. I have nothing. Let's say, let's say you're a person who has nothing going on and you're sitting at the house, you're chilling, watching Netflix all day and all this and that. You don't have kids holding you down and all that. You're hiding behind that teacher. You're hiding behind that, that person who is still essential, has to go to work, or they have to work actively from home. You're hiding behind people like that. When in reality, let's take this as a message to say, you know what? Let me tighten up. Let me tighten this up. We can't let this thing cripple us. And this isn't even to judge anybody who's afraid. You have every right to be afraid. It's unclear where we're going right now. And our country's leadership is, to put it mildly, garbage right now. I'm going to say it just like that. But this can't cripple you. Let's let this be an opportunity to try to improve. If you are able, let's do that. Don't be so quick to snap back if you have everything, because when you look at it, obviously that post, again, would not apply to you. So you don't even have to respond to it. It's for those who know who, and they know who they are. You know who you are. Yes, the post is made and written in general terms, but it doesn't mean that it applies to every single person out there. Every post that someone makes does not apply 100% across the board. And any adult with sense is very aware of who it applies to. You know exactly who it applies to. So to respond just to have something to trip that person up, or those who post that, or to try to poke holes in it, or to try to clap back, to do all this, who it goes with. What separates the successful people from truly the non-successful ones are the ones who have the discipline, or have at least the integrity to say, you know what, I got to tighten up. I'm not doing well enough with this. I got to get better with it. And when it comes to mental health, and this is something else as well, when it comes to mental health, it's a little, to say the least, I'm going to call it asinine. I'm going to call it asinine when people say things like, well, if you survive one day, if you have mental health issues, sometimes just surviving one day is success. I call that asinine because, of course, it's asinine to take that and put that in the same category as this. If you have mental, you obviously are not going to be in that same state to do that. So it's not the concept that's asinine, it's the fact that that's used in here. It's used as part of this. Waking up and going to bed without, what did someone say the other day? I saw this on social media. Sometimes making it through the day is success. I call that asinine because, sometimes it is success. But it's also an obtuse response to it. Because this is not to put down those who suffer with mental issues, who are going through depression, alcoholism, addictions in other forms. That's not who this is about. This is not telling you that, hey, you need to just snap out of it and get on the ball over here. That's not what it's saying. So if you're going through that kind of stuff, people are not telling you to just get out of it. But again, those who do not have those issues are hiding behind those who do. Yes, if you have mental issues, you're suffering right now. If you have it, you have, one day is a success, a few hours is a success. That's, of course. But again, that's not who this applies to. And that shouldn't be used as a rebuttal. It should not be used as a rebuttal, as a way to clap back at it, because that's not what anybody's saying. And it encourages, what I believe, it encourages other people to be lazy. And we live in already a lazy society as it is. If you didn't do your, let me say it like this, okay? This is, some kind of, we'll take it for a quote, and I'll go ahead and wrap up with this. But let's say someone says, well, if you made it through today, it's okay if you didn't do what you set out to do. Tomorrow's another day. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you, yourself, you decided that you wanted to work towards something, right? You decided you wanted that success in that area. You can't have a whole lot of days where you do nothing and you say it's okay. You'll never achieve that success if you do. And look at some of the folks we look up to work very hard. I'm talking about extremely hard. I don't know, who knows when they sleep. And we love to see people like that. We strive to be people like them. But when it's time to say, okay, this is how they got there. This is a little piece of how they, were able to get there. We don't want to touch it. And it's fine if we decide, that's just not for me. I'm just not going to do that. If that's what you decide, that's one thing. But if you're talking that talk, you got to walk that walk too. A whole lot of talking happening, but little walking. Little in the way of walking that walk. And you know who you are. Don't sit there and hide. You have the capacity. You have the capability. There's not something holding you back. You're not crippled from stress by what's going on. You are capable. You wake up and you can say, you know what? If I want to do this, it's going to happen. You can. You're just choosing not to. And again, We all have free will, right? We all have free will to do that. But you also have to understand the difference between I am not able to do this. I am not able to do this. I am not able to make this happen. I cannot physically. I cannot mentally. Right? You got to know the difference between that and I am not disciplined enough to do so at this time. Don't continue to tell yourself, oh, it's okay if I didn't do it today. It's okay if I don't do it tomorrow. It's okay if I don't do it the next day. When are you going to do it then? When are you going to make that happen? Once in a while is okay. You didn't get sleep last night and you don't have the best day working. Those are the times where not having the best day is okay. Because other stuff got in the way. But my point is, y'all, don't let this be what stops you if you know you are able. And a lot of us are able. A lot of people are able. Don't let this get in your way. For a lot of people, time has opened up. Not for everyone. Not for everyone, but for a lot of people. Time has opened up. For some a lot, for some a little. Don't fall back into this, well, I just feel like being lazy. And then at the same time say, well, I'm not able to do it. Because you are able to do it. Everyone who is successful today, they sacrificed a lot. And if you don't want to sacrifice, that's fine. But if you're trying to put yourself on that same category, on that same platform as those people, you got to ask yourself how badly you want it. And that's whether we're participating in a quarantine or not. You got to ask yourself how badly you want it. That's what it comes down to. Because one thing I can tell you is that there's a lot of people out there who do have mental issues, who do suffer from depression, who do suffer from this illness, this injury, this disorder, and they're still out there making stuff happen. That's not the same as saying you're garbage because you can or because you haven't figured it out yet. But your circumstances don't have to determine your outcome. That's what you got to remember. Your circumstances don't have to determine your outcome. Don't allow that person who says, hey, it's fine if you can't do it. Don't let that person in your head, in your mind every day. Because you'll never accomplish anything if you do that. How badly do you want it? If you have these, even if you have other things going on, take those steps to work yourself through those. Not get rid of it, work through it. You have mental going on, work through it. Not push through it, not ignore it, but help yourself. Help yourself. Get yourself to a place where you can help yourself get through it and grow from it and strengthen yourself. But don't just accept, hey, well, I didn't do it today. Oh, I didn't do it tomorrow. Oh, it's not a privilege. Okay, well, actually it is. There's a lot in terms of privilege going on. We're privileged to do a lot of things. But don't sell yourself short because somebody creates something to clap back at someone else. Because you know just how capable you are and how much you aren't. And if you know you are capable, take a look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, am I here because I'm not able to do this, or am I here because I'm not disciplined enough to do it? And you know deep down, ask yourself that hard truth. We can be real and 100 to everybody else. Be real and 100 with yourself. Do I need to tighten up on my discipline? If you do, tighten up on it. Tighten up on it. But don't just sit back and fall in line and piggyback off those who say, hey, if you can't do it, you got all these issues and stuff. Because you also know if you don't have issues too. If you do have issues or if you don't. This is not judgment, this is encouragement. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is Robert People of robertpeople.com. Have a good day. Have a good day. As best as you can have. And you know, tighten that discipline up. Tighten that discipline up. You know it better than anyone else. Be honest with yourselves and just tighten it up. Y'all be good out there. I'll catch y'all again here Wednesday.